Hello and welcome to One Man's Collection. Today I'm looking at the Ferrari Collection Magazine number 78. So this is the Ferrari F430 Scuderia. I have a 143 scale die-cast car that I actually think looks great. I will show that in more detail towards the end, but we're going to briefly go through the magazine and show what came in this particular issue. As with all the magazines, I won't be reading everything in detail. You'll have to pause the video to read the articles if that's what you want, but I will show what you did get in these particular issues. So the drivers in this issue, so we're going straight to a driver now, is Mike Hawthorn, an Englishman at Maranello. Production model is the F430 Scuderia, which is the one I'm talking about with the die-cast car there. The competition models is the 250 GT Competizione. I think we did have the die-cast car of those, and normally if they talk about it in these issues, we do have the car that matches it. The poster is the 430. I've not taken it out. We'll take a look at that as we come past it. So a gentleman champion. So this is the driver Mike Hawthorn. With cars in his blood, Mike Hawthorn burst into the world of Formula One and sports racing at the age of 23. He wanted to become the first Englishman to win the F1 Drivers' Championship. Very good. Born in 1929. I'm not going to read the whole article. But we will read snippets. 1958 Italian GP. At Monza, Hawthorn competed in the Ferrari 246 F1, which was fitted with disc brakes for the first time. He led from the start, but eventually finished second behind the van wall of Tony Brooks. That's a shame. First win of the year, held at Pedrabel's Circuit, Barcelona, in the 24th of October 1954. Spanish Grand Prix saw the debut of the legendary Lancia D50. While the Mercedes-Benz cars suffered overheating problems, Mike Hawthorn had his first win of the season in a four-cylinder Ferrari 553 F1. Man, look at those days. They barely had a helmet. The heads poked out above the car. No roll hoop there. It's almost like they had to lean over if they rolled over. But, yeah, we lost a lot of drivers in those days. There's the podium finishes. Some firsts, thirds, fourth, first. Overall in the championship, 54, second, first. Third in the Drivers' Championship, and the non-championship race came first at the, I'm not even sure, Monza, whatever that does. Super Cortemagoi, is that the old Monza that had the big loop? Awesome. Bunch more first in 56, 57, 58 first seconds. He did really well. Dueling with Sterling Moss. All right, moving on to the car of the magazine, F430 Scuderia. Beautiful looking car. Gold wheels looks really good. The one we got here has black. I'm okay with the black, but I think if I were to get one, I'd be wanting the gold wheels too. All right, referencing Ferrari single-seaters. It's Formula One origins resulted in the F430 Scuderia oozing uncompromising sports characteristics with a road car emitting an impressive range of engine and exhaust sounds. Visually, the grey stripes painted on the Scuderia's bodywork further enhance the car's competition aspirations. Very good. 3 years after the appearance of the legendary 430 Berlinetta, from 2004, the Scuderia version of the model was launched. Ferrari's most extreme 8-cylinder offering. Its Scuderia designation aroused strong emotions in the Prancing Horse Marquis road and race fans. I like it. Purposeful front styling. Extremely aggressive design in the front of the Ferrari 430 Scuderia was designed both with reduced both to reduce aerodynamic drag coefficient compared to the standard 430 Bernetta, and also to increase downforce in the front axle. If you're using more for racing, yeah, you would, wouldn't you? Or track days. Exceeding 320 kilometers an hour, 199 mile an hour, and 3.6 seconds, 0 to 100. Here's the poster we get with this one. I don't ever plan on taking these posters out. I don't actually have enough wall space anymore. I probably have the double-sided, yeah. I don't have enough wall space with the plan of hanging up all my die-cast cars on the wall in a little poster size displays. Engine is a mid-rear longitudinal 90-degree V8, 4.308 cc, 510 brake horsepower at 8,500 RPM, and a top speed over 320 kilometers an hour or 199 mile an hour. Sure, I'll have one. Soft top option. In November of 2008, the 430 Scuderia was offered in a Spider bodywork. Despite this addition of stiffening modifications, the convertible was 80 kilograms lighter than the hardtop, which makes for a very heavy roof then. Probably because the bodywork was done different. Nice. All right, back onto the competition version of the 250 GT. From the mid-1950s to the mid-1960s, the 250 GT Competizione became known as the Tour de France after recording 9 victories in the classic endurance race. It was another Ferrari's long line of impressive 250 models. Yeah, I really do like the 250 models, and I think the short wheelbase 250, which I've shown off in this collection in a, I don't know what colour they call it, but one of the really dark midnight blues, is one of my most impressive 250s that I like. This one's really nice though. The engine is a front longitudinal 60-degree V12, just under 3 litres, so 2.953.2 cc. Between 240 and 260 brake horsepower, 7,000 RPM. Guessing it depends on how you've set it up. And maximum speed of 250 kilometers an hour, 155 mile an hour. Very nice. And they go for a pretty penny now, which is nice to have a model of it. And there's all the firsts it's had through 56, 57, 58 and 59. That is a lot of first place. Nice. Well done. All right, coming up in part 79 is the Dino 156 Formula 1 from 1961. So I'll go and check that one out. We are almost coming towards the end of these issues too. I think it runs out about 84, 86. I think that's when they kind of just petered out and stopped. And that's all I got. All right, take a look at the 3D model. Now, as I said, I got black wheels. We do have disc brakes in there, but the calipers are not painted. They are black as well. That's okay. Windows partly down. I'll shine a light in there soon. I'm liking the looks of the rear on this. And I do think that the Ferrari magazine cars were really well done. So much more detail than potentially the... what were they? Supercar magazine that I actually have as well. They had some very similar cars, but I think they did more detail with these Ferraris. So let's get a light and shine it inside so you can see. Let's shine it in the side through the window. No, I'm not going to be able to focus. Yeah, look at the seat belts. Paint on there. They even have the Ferrari. It's not going to show it, is it? Hang on, let's see if I can focus there. Yeah, there we go. And the seatbelt buckles. And it's going to be very difficult. The steering wheel has the Ferrari emblem on it as well. I almost need to hold the camera, not the car. But the engine. Very nice. Ferrari on the Are they the heads there, or are they the exhaust manifold? I'm not sure there. The heads, intakes. I like it. Underneath, very little. Silver at the front and silver at the back. I wonder what that is. Scratch pad? Don't know. I'm going to put that on the turntable so you can see it without my hands being in the way. See if we can get closer in. And if I can take a picture of the interior dash and stuff with more detail, I'll do that as well. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll be back with issue 79 next week. Cheers.